All right. I want to talk about something that I'm getting ready to call the loner gunman theory. And you would notice one of the things, the big goals of this whole video was I was going to show you how I got a song up to -4 dB RMS, which was way over the top, 2 decibels at least, more than we ever need. And I was going to do it without it sounding bad, just to illustrate that it can be done, and also to overemphasize challenges so maybe it's more obvious for you to hear distortions and things like that. Well, the one problem I kept on having was, let me get my levels right here, hang on. My biggest issue was there was a break right before the chorus, and the guitars were real distorted-y. Let's listen. One of the big problems with that is that distortion. I didn't really hear it so much once I got all the tuba stuff working really well. The time I added so I'm not even using the FET. So the time we used the Studer A800 was really doing some cool stuff, and then we got the Cambridge knocking off the low end, the very deep low end, and then we've got the Ozone Imager mono-wise in the low end, and then Sonoformer is catching all the little bitty peaks to make life a lot easier for our limiter, and we switch back to the UAD Precision Maximizer because I like it. Things are going pretty good. I don't hear much distortion. I don't hear anything really bad, at least in my headphones and the quick checks I've done on my monitors. Okay, so let's check out what our chorus is up to here. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So why on earth is it just really distorted before the music kicks in? That's the only thing that's really, really bothering me a whole lot. And so back to our loner gunman theory, when we have tracks that are something about guitars, and wide synths do this too, is when they hit all this tuba stuff, in particular the limiter, they like to crunch up in a really bad way. But there's something about when there's drums and bass and vocals and all that other business that it pulls the limiters working harder. It pulls the guitars down into this kind of this I wouldn't call it a mush, but like a homogenized ooze, a good ooze, and it actually kind of protects our wide stuff, so we can get away with big guitars and stuff. It's really weird how this works. And if you listen to the guitar soloed through our tubas, we're going to hear a mush or hear real bad distortion problems. Take a listen. It just kind of crackling the whole time, almost like my interface is messed up or something. But it's not. It's definitely the mix. I've checked it many times. So it's a really weird effect, but the real solution when it comes to dealing with it is, as expected, is there's nothing wrong with our limiter, most likely, because if the mix sounds pretty good otherwise in context, then the problem is only in this one specific area where these guitars are just too much without anything else fighting them to pull them down. And so let's just try automating them. Let's find that one spot where they really get nasty. All right, so we'll yank it down. Let's just go 2 decibels and see what happens. It's the fact that they're by themselves doesn't let them pull down by drum transients and things of that sort. So let's see. And if we do this just right, now see, the band may not love what we're up to, and that's where it gets real tricky. But if we do this just right, the kapow of the chorus will actually make more sense. So this is one of those cases where the limiter is actually begging us to give it more dynamics. And that's another concept I haven't really covered much, but there are times when these gadgets that are supposed to just, the forum people always say, oh, that just destroys your dynamics, oh, these limiters. Well, if a limiter's complaining when a spot isn't dynamic enough, what does that mean? Puts us in a nice little fun philosophical land. But in my experience, these limiters are helping us. They're telling us what to do in a good way. All right, now that distortion's there when the guitars are soloed. Let's see what happens when they're in context. Okay, now that's not as cool as I was hoping. Now let's push it up a little bit, because we do have drums in there and stuff that may help. So we probably just need to reduce it a little. And taking the time to do this could help a lot. Still hearing a little bit. Let's keep going down and see if we can't find a middle ground here. We're not far off, but there's still some issues. Now it's important to take a look at these tracks themselves. What I'm going to do now, because I know these guitars are ticking me off a little bit right here, but that level change should have fixed it for the most part. First off, I want to see with them soloed, how far down do we need to go where they're not distorting anymore? So I'm at, let's see, plus 0.75 now. Let's go down to -3. Hang on, are those distorted anyway? May have heard that. That might be in the guitars themselves. And then I look really stupid. Or a genius, depending on how you look at it. I'm an idiot because I can't track, and a genius because I didn't need all this junk. So what I'm going to do is bypass everything on the 2-bus. And Cubase says they'll feature bypass everything pretty easily. Alright, so I'm going to turn the guitars back up to their full-blown rocking level and see what that sounds like. That's just in the damn guitars. Well, crap. Let's make sure it's not this compressor I got on the guitars, because I am stomping on them pretty good. Now, I'm going to turn this way up, so fair warning. And we're really going to look at these guitars. Okay, so we have a stereo enhancer on them too. I did widen them just a little bit. Okay, I'm an idiot. That distortion was just in the guitars themselves. Now, I've decided in my brain to make that a pleasant distortion by just lying to myself. But I don't like what I did there, but I don't know how I did it. And there's no telling. When we did this tracking for this project, it was an indie rock project with no rules. And so, like, we're doing stuff like small kick drums on purpose. And, you know, when I had 4 guitar amps. And we did some silly things on this just because we could. It was a big part of us 30-something-year-olds trying to, I don't know, act like we're creative again. All right, so ignoring that one little piece, I didn't really hear any distortion that bothered me on this entire mix. So let's take a look and start overthinking my overall 2-bus, quest here to make sure I got all the plugins on. All right, we'll start with the beginning of the song with just drums. Okay, that actually went pretty damn well. I didn't hear anything that really ticked me off. And we did it at -4. So we pushed way too hard. So now we're going to recap on the next video.